I wanted to share with you a little bit about the power of illusion, delusion, misconception, misperception, call it what you will. It was the theme that we spoke about today in our Neuro Talks here at the Neurosculpting Institute. But for this, I wanted to read you a very short section from New Beliefs, New Brain, which was my first book, and the foreword of this book was written by Dr. David Perlmutter, who is one of my favorite thought leaders in the health industry out there. So this little section is called Friend or Foe, a Powerful Delusion. Here's a stark example that Dr. Kevin Gilmartin, a well-respected behavioral psychologist and former police officer, uses in his police trainings. He asks officers to call out the first response they have to the term Boy Scout leader. Well, you might be surprised, or not, to know that the majority of the immediate uncensored answers, the free association answers, are pedophile. And I've seen this to be consistent with the thousands of officers that I have trained, including FBI, Secret Service, military, and Homeland Security personnel, because I do Dr. Kevin Gilmartin's exercise with those officers. And it is true, I would say 95% of every time I've done it, the room is a resounding response, pedophile. Okay. Obviously, the majority of Boy Scout leaders are amazing individuals and not at all pedophiles. And they are devoted to helping children and building community. However, if you were or are an officer, then the reality of your profession and your professional interactions with Boy Scout leaders would likely be because you are investigating them or arresting them based on allegations of things like harm to children or molestation. So this experience, this work-related experience, starts to shape their perception, which then drives an undercurrent belief. And their work-related worldview begins to replace their personal worldview. At one point in time, they probably didn't believe that all Boy Scout leaders were pedophiles. However, that belief gets chipped away and replaced with a new one that's validated over time again and again by their profession. And in particular, it's easy to replace their old beliefs with this one because this one is charged with this threat. And threat will cause us a lot of attention. Will recruit a lot of attention when it comes to identifying threat. And even though it's likely that fewer than 1% of all Boy Scout leaders are actually pedophiles, a cop will easily adopt this view as the truth and allow it to override their beliefs. They will allow 1% to negate 99%. And when an officer returns home from work at the end of the day, he doesn't magically, or she doesn't magically begin to trust all Boy Scout leaders. Instead, the cop will maintain their work-related worldview. But this is not true just for first responders, just for cops. We unknowingly participate in this one-sided ego validation. My perception, validated by the tiniest sliver of life's experience, is the true perception. This belief also happens to be one of our most powerful delusions. And our stories, our perceptions, cover life's full spectrum. So what exactly are these stories? This is what I want you to think about and see if you can soften these and see if you can also know that these do not represent the whole truth of your life's experience. So here are some examples of these perceptions. I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm too skinny, our environment is dangerous, I'm not as good as, well, I'm better than, I must prove myself, I'm entitled to, I can't because no pain, no gain. Well, you only have yourself to rely on. Losing is bad, winning is good. You always let me down. You're not as good as, I'll never, they shouldn't because, and on and on. Are you familiar with any of these? So, we all have our stories. Some of them help, some of them hurt. None of them are 100% true. Some of them have come from real experiences. But no one day is the exact same as all the other days in your life. So therefore, your day-to-day experiences give you a wide berth of opportunities to create new stories. So I'm just going to invite you to think about, what stories are you holding on to that represent the tiniest sliver or a medium-sized sliver of your life's experience that you are now using to dictate every single waking moment? It's not necessary. It's a waste of our valuable energy. It's a waste of our neural resources. And we need those, people. We need our neural resources, not to invest energy in holding neural patterns just right the way they are, but investing that neural energy into adaptation. We need that. So, I know my stories. I wonder what yours are.